Well, good Monday morning to you. It is Monday, August the 17th. Can you believe it? August 17th, 2020. We've been working remotely for more than 5 months now, officially. Glad to have you with us for Up to the Minute. We've got a great show for you for the next half hour. All the HCC news and information you need to know. Stay tuned with us. Before we introduce our guests, I want to introduce my co-hosts I have today, because I got a couple of them. Of course, Brittany Pacheco here every day. She joins us again this morning from her house. Good morning, Brittany.
Good morning, Todd, and good morning, everyone joining us, especially to my other co-host, Raquel Sims.
Good morning, beautiful. How are y'all doing today? I hope everyone had a great weekend.
Yes, it was a good weekend, and Raquel's joining us from Stafford. She works for our Stafford METV station, and Raquel, you're going to have some Stafford updates in a little while. Stick around. Brittany, of course, we're asking everyone to share this podcast so we can grow our audience.
Absolutely, and everyone, it's just a really quick, simple click the share button and share it to your newsfeed so we can get this great information out to the masses. Also, don't forget to like our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget about YouTube, because we have lots and lots and lots. Did I mention lots of videos on our YouTube channel? So be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be the first to find out the latest from HCC.
That's right, Brittany. Stick around, both of you. We'll be back with you with more in a little while. But our two special guests, I think these two know each other because they work in similar areas of the college. We've got Andrew Johnson. He's the Director of Industrial Technology and Energy at the Continuing Education Department, Global Energy Center of Excellence. I apologize for chopping up your title there, Andrew. It's a very long title.
It is. Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about your position at HCC because you're brand new here, so welcome on board, but we'll talk more about that in a little while. Another gentleman you know well, we've had him on several of our shows before, Martin Garsee, the Director of Transportation Training, Automotive Center of Excellence at HCC Northeast. Welcome back to the show, Martin.
Thank you, Todd. It's a pleasure to be here.
We want to talk to you about our truck driving program. Of course, truck drivers over the last 5 months or so have been essential workers, essential for stocking everything from our grocery stores and making sure all the goods are there during this pandemic. And I imagine truck drivers now are needed more than ever.
Absolutely. It's kind of interesting. You know, some segments of the market have been down a little bit, but overall the trucking industry is doing well and looking for new hires, looking for students to hire. So students are in great demand at this point.
Let me ask you this, Martin, because things, we're all working a bit differently than we had prior to March the 13th when we left for spring break and really never returned to our campuses in the most part. How has the truck program adapted to the pandemic with delivering an online education? And I know you've been able to bring back in some of those students from the spring so they can complete their certifications.
Correct. We immediately went to all online for our classroom, as much of the college did. You know, it was a big switch for us. We were doing some online training for the classroom kind of as a supplement, dabbling in that, but we went to all online for our classroom portion. And then we've been able to bring back, we had quite a few students that were left hanging, so to speak, over spring break when we shut down. And so the college has allowed us to come back. And what we're doing is we're teaching one-on-one. We're exercising extreme caution. We have everyone's wearing the PPE. We're checking temperatures. We're going through all the protocol. And so we have one instructor to one student. So there's very limited exposure, keeping our social distance. And then, of course, in the truck, we're wearing face shields and masks. And so it's been successful. Students are very excited about coming back, being able to finish after months of waiting. So we're very fortunate that, and most of our students have been able to come back. And so we're having a good rate of completion, even though it's in less than desirable circumstances. So we're open to finish up our spring students, and hopefully we'll wrap that up in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Martin, one of the key takeaways, I know that you went on and you brought it into your conversation, but I heard it, is the one-on-one instruction. Does this mean the students are getting more of a personal experience with the instructors for this? I mean, that's one of the things that before the pandemic that students seemed to like about HCC is we had smaller classes size, but now you've got one-on-one instruction in this program.
It is, and the difference is that, and we normally don't have more than 3 in a truck anyway, so a lot of times it's 2. So there is a small ratio, student to instructor out in the truck. But because of the pandemic and to limit exposure, we are doing the one-on-one. Now, what is kind of interesting, a person sitting there for 8 hours trying to learn something new all that time is pretty stressful. So we have to take it at a little bit different pace, become a little bit more creative in how we teach or how we deliver that. And so we're able to be successful in that. It's taking a little bit longer than we had thought. We thought normally a student gets about 45 to 50 hours behind the wheel. It's taking a little bit more than that, but there again, it is the one-on-one, and we work with that student until they're able to complete the course and to pass all their testing and that type of thing.
How are other truck programs around the country for colleges? How are they handling this pandemic from what you've learned?
We're all pretty much doing the same thing. I've been on several conference calls with schools across the country, and we're all doing kind of the same thing, the one-on-one teaching, limited small classes, limit the exposure to the least amount of faculty members that you can. Probably about half the schools are open and about half the schools are closed, but all the ones that are open that I'm aware of are teaching the one-on-one. Our schools in the neighboring area are doing kind of the same thing. In fact, we were collaborative in figuring out how to do that here in the Houston area.
Well, I had a long haul truck driver on one of my programs right when this pandemic hit and things started to shift around the country. And I learned a lot from him, from talking with his discussion. He had to pivot his operation because he was working for an entertainment company. He was actually driving equipment for the Zac Brown band, and they were on the midst. They just started what was going to be a 10-month tour, and they were shut down literally within weeks. He went home for a couple of weeks, and they decided, what is he going to do? And he started delivering groceries. And when I talked to him on the road, he was delivering coffee at the time. But one thing he said, he said, look, the work's out there for us, but we're discovering as truck drivers is we're on these long hauls, and we're creatures of habit because we like to stop at certain truck stops. We like to eat at certain places. We know where the good restrooms are. And he said at that point during the pandemic, when things were literally shut down and they were only allowing you to get in for gas, he was having to actually go to rest stops and buy more groceries on the road to eat in his vehicle. When you're a truck driver and a student, I guess these are things you need to consider as you're moving on with these things.
Absolutely. The world has changed, and in talking to some of our former students and friends that are out there on the road, getting into the truck stops, and most of those are opening back up, but it's become very difficult, and you find a lot of agencies, you find a lot of charitable organizations and things realizing that they're serving food, sometimes in rest areas, just trying to make those arrangements where people can, get a shower, that type of thing. Because as you say, a long haul truck driver, they put everything that they're going to use for the next 2 to 3 weeks, put it in a truck, and they have to have that ability to shower and all that on the road. And the ones that have been doing it for a while, you're right, they have their favorite places to go. They map out their areas. They know exactly what to go, where to go and what to do. But in this times, it's a little bit different. Talking to them, they've had to make some adaptation in order to make it. And it's become more difficult. And you hear that out on the road where people are saying, this is one of the hardest things I've ever done. They're excited because they're working. They're excited because they're delivering things that are necessary for us to survive. But they are having to, so to speak, pay the price and figure out an alternate solution, just as we are in HCC trying to deliver our training to students.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Where do you see us going in the next few months, and how do you see the truck driving school operating? I believe I talked with Sean Atmishi a few weeks ago, and he had mentioned about reaching out to different COEs and using, AI or the VR, virtual reality programs to enhance your education. Do you see that coming your way as well?
There is some really exciting things in the, I'll call it in the simulation world. Houston Community College has 3 large simulators that we are able to train students on. It's not kind of like airplanes. It's not so sophisticated that people can actually qualify to learn to drive or to test on a simulator. But we're seeing some AI being done, especially in the pre-trip area, more kind of on the maintenance side, being able to actually look inside of an engine and turn a wrench and see something happen. So we're seeing some of that being developed. There's nothing at the moment that I'm aware of that is there yet that's replacement of what we're doing. But I think this speeds up the process because people realize that it is a necessity at some point, because if this happens again, we need to be ready. So there's some development in that, but we have not seen the results yet that we're looking for.
Well, Martin, I know you're looking forward as the fall semester moves on, especially as we all are when October 5th rolls around and we can get more students on our campuses, keeping our fingers crossed for that. And good luck to you in the program. Thanks for being here this morning.
Yeah, thank you. We're very blessed. We have a huge interest in our program. We have a lot of people enrolled for the fall semester already, hoping and believing that, on October 5th, we'll be able to open up at a larger degree. And so we ask you to go online and go ahead and get registered for a class because they're filling up fast.
That's right. You heard it. They're filling up fast. hccs.edu/now is where you can go to register for all of our programs. Look for truck driving under that. Thanks for being here, Martin.
Thank you, Todd.
We appreciate it. We'll see you again.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to move on to Andrew Johnson. Andrew, we appreciate you joining us. As I mentioned, you've been with us, for 5 months now?
That's correct, Todd. Tomorrow actually is the completion of my 5th month.
Wow.
So I'm happy to be here.
But have you been working virtually most of this time, or have you been able to get on the campus any at all?
So I spent my first 2 or 3 weeks on campus. Everything else has been virtually, and it's been challenging, but we've met the challenge.
Now, I'm going to go through your title again: Director of Industrial Technology and Energy, Department of the Global Energy Center of Excellence, Continuing Education Division. Maybe you can kind of break that down to us as to what exactly or what program you work with and what you do.
Perfect. So you've heard of Rig 1 in the past, and that's a premier program that HCC has launched and has been in the process of solidifying it for quite some time. In my 5 months here, we've worked towards handling COVID, so not able to build those on-ground courses, but we're commonly referred to as ITE, short for Industrial Technology and Energy. So in the ITE department, we've been able to transition from on-ground to online and virtual. So we've partnered up with a friend of your show, Anna Go, who's our director over continuing education online. And we've offered online courses related to the Industrial Technology and Energy group. We've also launched the first virtual OSHA 10 course, one of the first in the city of Houston, first for Houston Community College. And it was so early in the COVID environment that OSHA came in to audit our course just to see how rich it would be. And we passed with flying colors.
Well, we've had Anna on the show before, and she's told us about the scaffolding courses that she was an instructor for. Do most of your students come in for short-term certifications? Is that where your program stands? And then do you also have the 2-year degrees as well?
That's correct. So the Global Energy COE the Center of Excellence for Global Energy has two elements or two legs. The credit side, which Dr. Arjun, who was on your show last week, he manages all of global energy, but he primarily focuses on the credit side. That's where you can get the 2-year degree. The continuing ed side is my side of the global energy consortium. So we handle anywhere from 10-hour workforce courses to 200.
Now, let me ask you this. Would your program through continuing education be a good venue for someone who may be in the oil industry, who was furloughed, maybe lost their job, looking to stay in the industry, but need some more certifications and retraining in a short amount of time?
Good question. That's absolutely the target market that we're going after, especially with OSHA. So we are focused on delivering OSHA content certified by OSHA to those individuals who have been affected by COVID as it relates to their employment, giving them an opportunity to get the basics. Every company at the helm of what any industrial company wants is safety first. So HCC is one of very few places that offers an OSHA sanctioned OSHA 10, OSHA 30, HAZWOPER 40 training course for those individuals looking to get started in a new industry.
Do those courses translate easily online? I know with like forklift and scaffolding, you need some in-person instruction to complete the certification, but do you have some of the courses that would translate very well online?
We are able to deliver all of those courses now in a virtual environment. We actually have more courses set up for the month of September and October. Every week we will offer an OSHA training course, maybe two, going forward through the second week of October. So yes, to your question, yes.
Let me ask you this. I know HCC is offering the 4 different modalities as we move into the fall with the ways students can sign up. The online anytime, of course, you can take those courses anytime online at your convenience, online on a schedule where you can interact with the professor and also your classmates. Do you have those versions of these courses as well where they can interact with the instructor?
Yes, we do. So the first thing that we did when we were met with COVID, we partnered up with Anago. So that's going to be a staple offering for ITE. ITE will offer online self-paced courses that are oil and gas related. Like manner, we will also have a staple offering, a library of courses that we will offer virtually that are scheduled every week, every other week, or whenever there's a demand. We've partnered with a few corporate companies where we have corporate accounts now. When they have a demand, we will set up a virtual course for them in one of the OSHA disciplines and administer that course. It normally takes us about a week to make that happen.
And that's another thing too, which HCC has delved into that market. I think years ago they used to call it the corporate college, and now we have employers that come to us like, XYZ Drilling, and I need to train some employees, about 30 of them. We can handle that as well.
Absolutely. So it's a benefit to industry. One of the most cost-impactive things for industry is training. And it's where you have the largest exposure in safety incidents. When we can offset that cost by offering a competitive price for instruction, it helps industry, helps our students, because it feeds that need in industry, and it satisfies that need for industry and for that employee or potential employee.
I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Martin earlier. Going into the fall, how are you feeling with the new deliveries of education, and where do you see us going in the next few months? Sounds like you guys are set up pretty well online with your course delivery.
We're looking forward to it. We're preparing for it with the majority of us being new to the department. we've accomplished a few things. We have accreditations in process and a signature from the chancellor, a way that we've not had before. What we intend to do is to set up a course or curriculum package where if we need, let's say COVID goes away, but something comes back, we want to be able to flip the switch and go right into virtual from on ground face to face. So we're preparing for that right now.
Something we're all starting to prepare for, like when's the next one of these could hit, and are we going to be ready for it? Andrew Johnson, we appreciate you being here on the show today. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
All right. And once again, welcome on board.
Happy to be here. Thank you so much.
All right. So our HCC news and information, of course, Brittany's back again. Brittany, did you do anything over the weekend?
It was a pretty quiet weekend. Can't really complain about that. I enjoy quiet weekends. Went to dinner with my neighbors to Asta La Pasta, which was very nice.
All right. Yeah.
And it was just me and my pup. I think I mentioned to you, she's now gone into season. So that's interesting to deal with. But she looks very cute, her little bloomers, if you will. So working through that.
Very good. Well, I want to hear more about that restaurant in a little while with how they, it seems like all of them are looking differently nowadays with social distancing and how they set up the tables. So maybe we can talk about that later in the show when we get back to you. But first, we want to go to Raquel so we can fit in our Stafford announcements. Raquel, good morning again.
Good morning. Everything is going pretty breezy out here in Stafford. Just like Andrew and Mr. Martin were talking about how they were getting things together for the fall semester. Students and parents are wondering, like when it comes to Stafford MSD, how are their students going to return? So we had the chance to speak with the superintendent of SMSD. He gave the insight of how the district is reopening and what the students are going to be doing in regards to returning. So that was good. And we also had a chance to speak with the Workforce Solutions. They hosted their very first annual virtual job fair, and I was able to sit in on it. So it was cool to see how they virtually made everything. It was almost like a 3D game type of thing. It was really, really cool to see them, provide opportunities in the midst of this time. And then we also spoke with the Fort Bend County Libraries, and they're providing curbside service. So not only are restaurants and stores providing curbside services, the libraries are providing curbside services as well. So if you have any good reads out there, just pull up and they will come out. And then next week, we are speaking with Sean Onishi, and he's going to be speaking about their new AI degree that they have for the Digital Information Technology program. So we're
Sean
excited.
Adnishi, you say? Sean
Yes,
Adnishi?
sir.
Never heard of him. Brittany, you ever heard of him? Yeah, maybe.
He's wonderful. So we'll be speaking with him. And we also spoke to him and Samir as well, just a side note. And he talked about the new positions that they're in and so what they have coming up for the fall. So if you're not doing so already, please don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at HCC Stafford TV Studio and HCC SW TV Studio. I feel like I just butchered that up, but hopefully the link will redeem myself. And then also like us on YouTube at HCC Stafford as well.
Thank you, Raquel. And of course, we'll have all those links in our social media as we do with everything we have here. Back to Brittany. Social distancing at the restaurant. I know some of the restaurants I've gone to have had like stickers on tables. They had some of the tables that are roped off. Some of them don't do anything. They just tell you, don't sit there. You can sit there,
Well, at the Asta La Pasta, which I've had it a couple of times, but it was my first time actually going to the restaurant. They took it very seriously. So you have very limited tables. It's very spaced out to adhere to social distancing. Of course, you do need to enter and leave wearing a face mask or some kind of protection. And they are encouraging you to use your smart devices to digitally review their menu. So they're doing a really good job just to adhere to what the state has mandated for restaurants to one, be at 50% capacity, of course, and then whatever precautions are necessary to make sure that the health and safety of the guests as well as the employees are taken very seriously. Great experience. It was very quiet, considering
Yeah.
it was a Saturday evening. So I really enjoyed it, of course, and look forward to going again.
It's always good to get out, especially during this time of COVID and uncertainty. Because of the COVID crisis, all of our events really are online nowadays at HCC, and no exception, our convocation, which of course is going to happen this Friday at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. What else happens on Facebook at 10 a.m.?
Just
Up
this,
to the minute.
just
Yeah.
this little show,
Yeah.
it's, we make a big to do of it, but yes, Up to the Minute will be delayed due to convocation on Friday, August 21st. So it'll be delayed by an hour. So we just want to let everyone know that this week, join us on Up to the Minute this Friday at 11 a.m.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
tell them about convocation, Todd.
Well, convocation, the deadline for registration has passed, but convocation will be Friday morning at 10 a.m. For more information on where you can view it, go to hccs.edu/convocation. We look forward to seeing everybody there. We got a very special presentation prepared for everyone. Student Virtual Lobby, they are up and running, Brittany, with several different ways that you can get a hold of them.
They are. And Todd, I do want to put a disclaimer really quickly before I delve into that, because we're just a week out from our semester beginning. We are experiencing a high volume of calls, emails, requests on the daily basis. So our student services team, along with other departments here at HCC, are working diligently to answer the hundreds and hundreds of requests they receive, again, on a daily basis. So if you haven't heard back from the respective department, please know that your question will be answered, maybe not in the time frame that we initially stated. Usually it's about 48 hours. But again, this is really heavy registration time for all of us here at HCC. So we really appreciate you all patiently waiting for the answer. And we are doing our best to turn around responses in a timely manner. But for those who have not heard about the virtual lobby, Student Services has live enrollment and advising help through our virtual lobby, featuring live support on Zoom. You can also put in a callback request and also email. No appointment is necessary. Extended hours are here to support each and every one of you, Monday through Thursday, 8 to 8, Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you're interested in utilizing this free tool for you all, visit hccs.edu/virtual lobby.
And if you need money for college, well, the foundation is accepting scholarship applications, but there's a deadline approaching. It's August the 31st. Where can they go to sign up for those, Brittany?
Students, both domestic and international students, can go to hccsfoundation.org/scholarships. The deadline, as Todd was previously stating, is right around the corner. It's August 31st. So don't sit on that opportunity to get some tuition assistance.
And dates for the new fall schedule, of course, August 24th, a week from today. Hard to believe the fall semester is beginning. And all classes will be remote for the first 6 weeks. That'll go all the way through October the 5th. October the 5th is the first day for Brittany.
It is the first day for all in-person flex campus and lab-based courses. Now, let's reiterate, if you are enrolled in flex campus or lab-based courses, you will be doing your classes online for the first 6 weeks, beginning August 24th. Again, October 5th is when you will report for in-person instruction. So don't think you've got a free pass for 6 weeks. You do have stuff that you need to do. So make sure you log on to your student portal, check out your Canvas, and see what's going on.
Yeah, from what I'm understanding, from what Dr. Ewan was telling us last week, if you have those flex campus courses where you normally were planning on going Mondays at 9 a.m., you simply log in at that time, and it's like the online with a schedule. You meet with your instructor face-to-face, you can interact with your classmates, and it's all done through a virtual schedule. So there was some confusion in how that was going to work, but that simply cleared it up when he talked about that on Friday.
Sure did, Todd. So students, if you are still kind of fuzzy about what we mean by all this information, be sure to leave a comment or DM us directly. One of us from the social media team will be more than happy to assist you.
Raquel, have you, let's put it this way, are you familiar with the information sessions that all of our students have to take?
I am not, but can you please bring me up to speed on it?
I will bring you up to speed on it, because if you're taking classes in the fall, Brittany knows this, you have to take an information session, and you can do that online nowadays by simply going to one of their weekly sessions. There are only 2 left.
Okay.
I cannot believe there's only 2 left. We've been talking about it since
Sounds like forever.
our summer that
Yeah.
we would have weekly information sessions all the way through August. August is almost over. So the next session is Thursday, August 20th from 1 to 2. And now that classes are about to begin, these sessions are obviously about to end, but students can still get help with admissions, testing, financial aid, etc. So I know over the weekend we've had a lot of questions from students in regards to things relating to TSI testing, transcripts, etc. Take this opportunity to go and register today about having those questions answered through our virtual enrollment info sessions. You can head over to hccs.edu/information sessions. Again, the next session is this Thursday, August 20th.
It's about time to wrap up the show. We appreciate everybody joining us today. Raquel, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right. And we've got tomorrow, Brittany, a couple of special guests, including the Shark Tank HCC style. You know, I had a chance to host that about a month or so ago. We've got some of the ideas pitch competition contestants joining us tomorrow. So you get to hear from them.
Exactly. And then we're also going to be joined by one of the committee members to talk about this ideas Shark Tank event that we hold here at HCC. So tune in tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. For Up to the Minute. Thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning.